Thus, the new leader ordered his soldiers to hunt the countryside for any advantage that may turn the tides in his favor. Venturing into all four corners of the earth, these troops scoured the Mar, investigating every rumor, every theory, everything. A small village, many days' walk from the central city of the leaders, sat just at the foot of the great-grandfather mountains. These mountains were very old, very, very old. A deep set of caves ran under the mountains, but the locals knew not to ever venture inside, as many stories of animals getting lost forever inside them are told by the elders to their children. But it is not because these caves go deep and branch off at many points into the darkness. Rather, there is something dangerous that lies in the deep, something unearthly, something that drove their ancestors mad. And it was exactly this that motivated the leader's troops into the darkness to investigate. And it is there that they disappeared, almost all of them. Weeks after the troops disappeared without communication, the leadership sent out a new investigating party to find them. They searched at all entrances of the caves and roamed the foothills. After many days searching, nearly ready to give up, they stumbled on a lone figure hobbling weakly through a small village. The villagers ran from this figure, hiding in their homes, screaming in fear at the other locals. "Plague!" they yelled. "Sickness! Sickness!" It became clear as the soldiers approached that this figure was once like them, one of the noble hogs, the leaders. But this figure was a decayed, emaciated visage of its former self. The skin had turned from pink to sickly green and almost black. The hair had fallen out. The eyes were sunken, and pus festered out of open sores around his body. As the soldiers drew near, their captain ordered them to approach no further as the figure turned to face them directly. His hands were clasped tightly, as if to shield something within. He dropped to his knees, whispering hoarsely,
"It's inside. Inside."
And just like that, whatever life was left in him expired, and he collapsed to the ground as if he was made of only paper. The commanding officer drew near, and with his rifle pried open the hands of the deceased figure, only to reveal something that looked like a very small fungal growth, yet more alien, like nothing he had ever seen on this earth. Its fruiting body was jet black, with fluorescent yellow tendrils reaching away from it. These tendrils moved on their own, almost like they were vibrating together. The officer collected the sample in a small pouch, leaving the deceased body on the ground. Little did he know that the contents in that pouch would be instrumental in turning the tides of war in a way so catastrophic and unpredictable that this world would change. Of course, the world is always changing, but not like this, never like this. The boy remembered this story vividly. He remembered his mother reciting it by the firelight. He remembered her words as she described this little alien thing that the leaders discovered, and its terrifying power weaponized by the new leader during the war, almost completely wiping out the other great hogs, the scientists. It was no mere chemical weapon, though it had this effect in spades, but it could infect a single organism that would in turn utterly devastate the entire village without the attackers so much as lifting a finger. There were many stories of an infected animal almost bursting apart, with tendrils as long as 3 tanks lined up, ripping and tearing the flesh of any creature in its wake. Creatures would explode in a pool of blood, as these alien-like arms destroyed any moving thing, infecting new hosts, which would carry on until the entire village was covered in the blood and body parts of the innocent lives shredded by this monstrous force. Even the little children were shown no mercy, as their legs and arms were torn from their bodies, with new tendrils reaching out from the wounds. This force would ultimately stop once the entire village was destroyed. Somehow, always under the control of the new leader. But how? How could such a devastating force be controlled?